Happening today, there's a major hearing at the Supreme Court on federal vaccine mandates. It would affect about 80 million employees. The first requirement applies to workers and businesses with more than 100 employees. They must be either vaccinated or get tested weekly and, of course, wear a mask at work. The other mandate or the other ruling that they're going to be deciding on, it applies to healthcare staff and facilities that receive federal Medicare or Medicaid funding. Joe Khalil is in Washington, D.C. this morning, breaking down what we can expect from the justices. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Adrian. And look, this has been controversial, not a surprise, I think, that it ended up before the Supreme Court. As you mentioned, they're going to be hearing two different cases, oral arguments. One we're really focusing in on is that mandate on private businesses that have 100 or more employees. Republican-led states and some business groups have brought these challenges up in lower courts. And what we're going to hear today from them is basically two arguments. One, they think that the Biden administration has overstepped their constitutional rights when they've empowered OSHA, the agency that, mandates health standards at work, to put these rules in place. They think it's not constitutional. You're also going to hear from a lot of the business community that they are worried about their shortages in staff and in workers. People have left. We know there's that great resignation. They've lost a lot of workers. And so when these rules are put in place, the fear is that people are just going to quit rather than adhere to the vaccine mandate or mandatory testing. On the other side of this, the Biden administration says we're still in the midst of a public health crisis, and they argue they certainly have the legal right to keep workers safe. And the best way to do that, they argue, is by these vaccine mandates. We know that the science on the vaccines is that they're pretty clearly proven that they can keep people away from the hospital for serious illness and for death. And so that is their legal argument moving forward. And I can say this is an expedited case. It's being heard on an emergency basis, which means the Supreme Court just got it a couple of weeks ago, and they're hearing the arguments today. That is a quick turnaround for the Supreme Court. And also that means that we can expect to hear a decision come from them, at least in maybe a couple days, possibly a couple weeks. Again, usually it takes months for the Supreme Court to come down with a decision. This one we're going to hear relatively quickly. So businesses are going to know pretty soon whether or not they're going to have to put this mandate in place, Adrian.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.